Hi, it's Ian from Mako Education, and today we're going to look at creating stop motion video using iPads. So before we get started, creating stop motion video can be a very hands-on exercise, so it's a good idea to keep your iPad as still as possible. You can do this in a number of ways, like using a case with a stand, a universal tablet stand, or even a small tripod. Now before we start animating, you're going to want to consider where your story is taking place. You will need to create a backdrop. You can use a picture, or you can even create one using a shoebox like we've done here. Next, you're going to want to consider what characters you're going to use. Lego is an easy option, but you could also use paper cutouts, clay, or you could even draw them. Just bear in mind that creating your own characters can take some time and is an activity in itself. So let's get started. We're going to use an app called Stopmotion. The app will launch into the library screen where you can see all projects that are currently on the device. Hit the plus button to start a new project. This is the screen where we're going to make our animation. If you're having trouble figuring out what any of the buttons do, remember you can always hit the question mark button, which will display some helpful hints and tips. It's at this point you'll probably realise that the iPad isn't quite in the right position, so you can physically move it and you can pinch to zoom to get the composition just right. Next, you'll want to tap on a character or object within the frame to make sure it's in focus. You can then adjust the brightness by moving the small slider below the focus box. It looks like we're ready to start animating. To do this, we're going to take a series of pictures. You take a picture by hitting the red button on the right hand side of the screen. Each picture is referred to as a frame. We can see that we've now recorded our first frame in our timeline. We now need to move our character into a slightly different position. When you're happy with your movements, press the red button to take another frame. Once again, you can see that frame 2 is now in our timeline. We're now ready to reposition our character again and take frame 3. We can now just repeat this process for as long as necessary to give the desired illusion of movement. It's important to remember that patience is vital. Small movements equal smooth animations. So let's see what we've got. You can hit the play button towards the right hand side of the screen, just above the record button. If you notice a mistake during playback, just hit the stop button. You can use your finger to swipe left and right to find the frame with the problem. You can see here we've accidentally captured a finger in our frame. So to remove this frame, we just need to tap on it and hit the delete button. Now it's gone from our timeline. By tapping the cog icon, you'll be able to see the project settings. In here, you can adjust the frame rate. The frame rate is the number of pictures that you will see in 1 second. Here you can see I have lowered the frame rate. A lower frame rate means that more time will pass before each picture is shown, which can result in a staggered or jumpy animation. It's important to understand these settings and experiment with them, especially when teaching younger people. Remember, patience is the key. We suggest starting at around 5 frames a second. This will produce a smooth animation without being too labour intensive. Let's add some titles and credits to our movie by tapping on the clapperboard icon to choose a theme. Here you will see a range of different styles of text that can be added to your animation. To customise this text, tap on the outline option and enter in your details. When you've finished, you'll be able to see that your animation now has a title at the beginning and credits at the end. Next, let's have a look at adding some audio. Tap the plus button and choose audio. There are a few different types of audio that we can add, so let's take a look at theme music. You can scroll up and down this list and hit the play icon on the left hand side to preview that particular theme music. When you've found the theme music that you'd like to use, simply tap it and it will be added to your timeline. All audio is represented by this small speaker icon, which tells us that there will be audio played when this frame is on the screen. Let's hit the plus button again and choose theme cards. Theme cards are a great way to cut away from your animation to show text on the screen. For example, a speech bubble where a character could be saying something. To add text into this speech bubble, we need to tap on the frame and then choose text. Now, tap anywhere inside this white box. A keyboard will appear and you can enter your text. When you're done, just press the X in the top right hand corner. Now let's turn our attention back to audio and add a sound effect. Position the timeline where you'd like the sound effect to appear, tap on the frame and hit audio. With sound effects selected at the bottom, you can scroll through, preview and select the sound effect in exactly the same way we did with our theme music. Finally, we can record our own audio or voiceover into the project by tapping the microphone option and pressing record. The Stopmotion app will count you down from 3 and then you're ready to go. Record your own sound and then you can hit play to see what it sounds like. If you're happy, press accept. If not, record again. It's important to review your project on a regular basis. To play it from the beginning, hit the rewind button and then press play. When you're done, hit this back arrow. If you need to, it's at this point that you can retitle the project. When you're ready to share, hit the share button towards the bottom of the screen. From here, we have a few options. We can upload the animation to a social media platform, or we can save a local version to the iPad's camera roll. But for this example, we're going to save to iTunes. Saving to iTunes is an easy and convenient way to get a copy of the animation onto our PC or Mac whilst retaining its file name. Simply choose an export format and let the iPad render. Then click Done. Now we can transfer that file. So let's plug our iPad in. Using a standard cable, plug one end into the iPad and the other into your laptop or PC. Now we can open iTunes. Browse to the iPad that you just plugged in and choose Apps from the setting menu on the left hand side. Now we can scroll down to the file sharing section. In here we need to click on Stopmotion and then we can see all of Stopmotion's exported documents. Here's the file that we've just exported. Scroll down and select Save To. A window will pop up asking us for a save location. Find where you'd like to save it and click Save To. You've now saved a version of that animation to your computer to use as you see fit. You can share it with the other participants, upload it to your social networks, or save for review at a later date.